Welcome back to China Price Watch. In today's Money Matters, we're talking about boarding schools. In the world of business in China, connections are everything. The fruits of guanxi can be a way to guarantee success. But how much can it help in England? Chinese parents are sending their kids to Chinese boarding schools, hoping to get their kids into top universities. Connections don't work the same in England as they do in China, but they still help. The British government released that students studying in these private schools can make up 44% of the total students enrolled at Oxford. The proportion is just a bit lower at Cambridge University, where it's 40%. Although the tuition fees of these schools are very expensive, many Chinese parents still believe that it's the right investment. Insiders expose the tuition fees for a British boarding school could range from about $58,000 to $66,000 each year. This indicates that the total tuition fees for 4 years would be about $240,000. Some of the schools are 5 years, which would make it about $300,000. If a student actually gets into a top university after graduation, then the big bills will keep coming. It means that these families will have to prepare at least $490,000 to pay for both the high school and university studies. This is without the cost of flights, food, and other unplanned expenses. In China, international schools are also popular choices for a certain number of Chinese parents. But there are many different types of British private schools. In terms of international schools, there are about 10 optional courses for students. But in British private schools, there are more than 60 optional courses available. The Chinese education systems are typically criticized for being too rigid and test-oriented. Even many of the international schools located in China have similar curriculums and styles. Many Chinese families think their kids would be happier if they study with different approaches offered by British private schools. If you're someone living in a major city, sending a kid to one of these schools isn't as extreme as it might sound. The cost of education can be huge in China too. Many have to buy houses near schools in order to get their kids into a choice one. Schools near houses have seen their prices shoot up ever since the zoning policy came into play. It's not uncommon to see apartments in Beijing go for $500,000. That's not much different from the cost of sending a kid to board for high school and college in England. On May of last year, Chinese media released the house prices in the Wudaoko area of Beijing soared. Prices were about $1,500 per square foot. A house with an area of about 390 square feet was sold at a pre-sale price of $580,000. It shot up just because it was nearby a school. The cost would be the same as an investment in overseas learning. Chinese people with the money to spend are interested in sending their kids abroad. They want their kids to have the best educations possible. They think it can be done in England. Not everyone doing this is super rich, although quite a few are. Many just genuinely consider studying abroad to be a valuable thing to do in a globalized era, especially while competition is tough at home. Don't go away, because up next for a question of the day, we'll hear Beijingers' thoughts on boarding schools. Stay tuned.